Hi, Mrs. Bulkew here. I'm going to talk through this Write Like a Chaucerian Character assignment with you. First of all, what you're going to do is you're going to choose one of these characters from the prologue to the Canterbury Tales that we studied a few weeks ago. And these characters really don't have that much development as far as what we've concentrated on in class. So this is kind of a creative way for you to learn to use what you've learned about character development and apply it in a creative writing atmosphere. Oops. So first of all, you're going to choose one of those characters. I had pictures of them earlier, but we have the prioress. She's a nun. The Oxford cleric, who's a poor student, a sergeant at the law, he's a lawyer, a doctor, a plowman, and if you remember studying about the parson, he was the good Catholic priest as opposed to the bad friar. The plowman is the parson's brother, and he's a farmer, and he's a good guy as well. The reeve is a judge of a small town. And actually, I have put in this document, in the assignment, all the page numbers that you would need to do any of this work. So you don't need to find anything else. Everything you need is in this assignment page. For 10 points, this is I think it's a 40-point assignment. The first part is you're just going to fill in these questions. You're going to choose a character. You're going to provide a quote from the text, and I'll show you that in a minute, with direct characterization. And then you're going to use the name Coghill after you put your quote in, and then the page number that you took the quote from. Or you can put line numbers, actually. Then you're also going to show an indirect quote from the prologue. And remember, indirect is the stuff that the person says, that he or she thinks, the effects that he or she might have on other characters, how they act, and what they might look like. So those are not the direct quotes from Chaucer telling us exactly what kind of person he is or she is. It's us having to read between the lines and figure out indirectly what kind of person this character is. Then in your own words, just think of 3 personality traits that you think best captures that character. You can click on this link in your document or these to get you some ideas, but that might not be necessary. So the next thing you're going to do, part 2, is you're going to brainstorm. And do you have to use complete sentences? Absolutely not. This is more of a brainstorming paper to help you think about how you're going to complete the assignment, which is to write either a poem or a diary journal entry as if you were that particular character. So you really want to think about getting into that character. If you were going to be on the stage, how would you talk? How would you play that character? That's what we're looking for, is that you're thinking about who he or she is. And so these questions are just prompts. And if you fill it out, you're kind of creating what you imagine this character to be. So just fill these in with your own ideas. Make sure that it adheres to and is faithful to what the text actually says. Then we have part 3, and this is where you're being creative and you're acting like this character. Go for it. Use first person. Pretend like you are the reeve or the prioress or whoever. And here you can do an I am poem, and if you click on this, let's see if I can open that link. And if you choose to use this particular format, let me make this bigger. Then you're writing a poem and it's going to be 3 stanzas long, and all the instructions are in here for you. And here is an example for you. It's 3 stanzas, like 3 paragraphs. And for each question, you're just filling this in. Okay? Now you're going to end up copying it and putting your final document together as one beautiful piece. But this is a sample for you to use. Okay, so that's one option. Suppose you don't want to use that option, that's fine. You can scroll down. Wait a minute, hold on. Option B. You might want to create it as a diary entry. So I would imagine that you're keeping a diary as you're traveling to Canterbury, and you're going to give us, again, just 3 different paragraphs, 3 sections, and you're writing it. Just follow all these things and talk about what your day. Stay in character throughout the entire thing. It's really not supposed to be difficult or overly time-consuming, but have fun with it, okay? And then when you're finished with it, go ahead and paste it here, and this is that 3rd part. And this is what I'll be grading, so you can turn the whole document in so that I can grade the first 2 parts as well. Then if you want, totally optional, extra credit, if you want to get up to 5 bonus points, you have to have at least 3 of these different kinds of figurative language, which we have been studying all semester. None of them should be new to you. You may have already actually included them. So after you write it, go back and look and say, hey, did I add any of this? If not, then switch things around. Add an allusion. Add an instance of irony or personification. But you have to point them out and color code them in 3 different colors, okay? Otherwise, I won't be able to tell exactly what it is that you want or that you put in there and why you put it in there. So you really need to explain it to me real clearly, okay? If you have any questions, please let me know. Have fun!